start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have a roll call, please?
Okay. Chairman Gonzalez,
Yeah.
John Ewers, Ewan, I'm sorry, Lindsay Wolf, Rod Kibble,
Yes.
Tracy Bartlett,
Yes.
Trenton Lee,
Yes.
Louette Frost.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll review for any conflict of interest. Seeing none. Have approval of the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as written.
I support.
Approved by Rod, seconded by Trenton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. Approve the minutes of 6/13/2023.
Don't we have, thought I read more than, I guess it is just one set. Did we not? Been so long ago, I don't remember. Didn't we have a site review?
We did on the previous meeting.
That was the second meeting.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
first time,
right.
and then we came
That's
back.
right.
Right.
That was the
Sorry,
second.
I forgot. I would make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting from 6/13/23.
I will support that move.
Okay, moved by Tracy, supported by Rod. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, we'll open the first public comment at 6:32. Okay, seeing none, we will close it at 6:32. Correspondence? Bill?
Yeah, the only extra correspondence I got was from the DNR. That is for the variance request for 523, that if you don't mind, I'd like to bring that up during this meeting.
Okay.
Or now, whatever you,
No, bring it up when we get to that.
thank you.
Second.
Bill, did you get correspondence from Steve Large?
Yes, that's in the packet.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, reports for the Township Board.
So at our meeting last night, we approved the budget and all the wages and stuff for 2024. We also are starting to look at a change in our assessing department. The county has been our assessor of record for as long as I've been here, but for many years, but it's coming to a point where they have some people retiring and stuff, and without trying to find new people to fill the contract they have with us, they're looking at not supplying our assessing anymore. So we worked on some job descriptions and some estimated budget that we would have for when we do our own assessing, when we have assessors that are employees of the township. So we did that yesterday, and we're starting to look at a new agreement with one of our cell towers that's on the Yorkshire Water Tower, kind of a different way to do the revenue from that. So we're starting to look at that. And we also approved the contract for some renovation for the clerk's office because of some of the new regulations with the voting. there's a need for more storage, and the 9-day voting is going to be here, and so there's just different things that we're going to do. So we approved a contract. They're going to do the renovation over Thanksgiving, so that was about it.
Right, thank you. Okay. For the Planning Commission, I'm going to catch you up on a number of different items that we did since we have not met as a board since July. And in the July meeting, it was a simple move that Carl Ferguson was put on the zoning subcommittee. We approved a minor amendment for the Alexander Inn, which allowed non-hotel guests to use the rooftop dining. There was a Row Investments wanted to put together a 27 apartment unit in 2 buildings in the Holiday Hills area. That was the first one of theirs coming before the board. They were subsequently approved in the September meeting. August 1st, there was an issue about childcare in the industrial district, but that was withdrawn, so we didn't have to make any votes on that. On the in the September meeting, the Cherry Tree Inn, they wanted to eliminate some employee area and replace that to add 3 units, and that was approved. We also approved a site plan review for the Beach Club, which was a rental of boats. In the September 19th meeting, we had 2 meetings that month. There was a proposed hotel on 3 Mile and 31, which is the putting in a Hilton Garden Inn and the Home Suite Inns by Hilton. That is under review at this point. On September 19th, we also discussed the vehicular stream crossing for bridges, primarily in the state park. October 3rd, we set a public hearing for that, and also a discussion on setting a public hearing for the regional business stream setback to clarify some discrepancy that was in the ordinance, a footnote. On November 7th, bring you right up again, the vehicular stream bridge crossing was passed and moved on to the Board of Trustees. Discussion is now being held, or will be held, on overnight medical facilities. There will be a public hearing scheduled for that, as well as a request to increase the density from 5 to 8 units in a live communities, which is an apartment with multifamily development on the site of the old Brigantine apartment area. And that brings you up real quick over the last couple of months. So I hope you enjoyed the vacation. Okay, business before the Zoning Board of Appeals. Yeah. By all means, oh, I'm sorry, yes, by all means.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good to see you. And I've got a little bit of an update, too, since it's been a few months, but I wanted to welcome Louette Frost to the ZBA. She's our second alternate, so now we have a fully staffed ZBA, which is great. We've got Trenton and Louette as our alternates, and they're both serving tonight. Also wanted to welcome Bill Vandercook, our zoning administrator. He started several months ago, but this is the first meeting that first time we've had a ZBA meeting. Wanted to just give a few updates on planning and zoning projects. So zoning ordinance rewrite, Paul, as well as Lindsay Wolf, both from ZBA, have been working on the zoning ordinance subcommittee. We've been meeting for a little over a year now, and tomorrow morning is going to be our last subcommittee meeting before we have a full draft. So we anticipate having a full draft for the ZBA subcommittee to review in December. So that's exciting. And then it's going to be going to the Planning Commission. There's going to be 3 work sessions. And then after that, the Planning Commission will hold a public hearing on that. We plan to have a joint work session between Planning Commission and Township Board. We'd encourage ZBA also to provide input, review, because you all, you have a very important role related to the zoning ordinance, and oftentimes you see some of the challenges in the ordinance on the other side of some of the variance requests. Safe routes to school, I think as many of you know, we received a little over $1 million for the infrastructure, so it's a little over 2 miles of trails. We're anticipating 2025 construction for that, and so Sam L'Souza, our Community Development Fellow, and myself, as well as our engineers, have been working with property owners on easements. We have 15 easements that we are working through and have gotten pretty positive response from private property owners with that. Wanted to mention, we are working through the Beach District visioning process, so that's going to kick off with a public process soon. We're going to have a consultant firm that's kind of leading stakeholders of business owners along the corridor. Trenton is serving on our implementation team, so we have about 12 people that are kind of helping guide that public process, but there's going to be a charrette and lots of public engagement opportunities. We're excited about that. The annual report for Planning Commission is going to be coming out shortly, so we'll make sure you get a copy of that. Did want to recognize Paul for the Distinguished Service Award, and Beth came and presented that to him last week at the Planning Commission meeting. But that was just, Paul has, stepped up. He's on the chair of the ZBA. He's vice chair of Planning Commission. He serves as chair of our zoning ordinance subcommittee. He does all of his homework, always comes prepared. So very much appreciate Paul. The other 2 awards related to East Bay Township, the Grand Traverse Regional Land Conservancy and also Alexandra Inn, both got the placemaking awards, right?
Yes.
Placemaking. And so that was for Alexandra Inn. It's that kind of cool opportunity to have outdoor space. And generally haven't been able to, as a member of the public, get out onto East Bay. The outdoor dining, it's very nice. I've been there once, and so I'd recommend. And then the Land Conservancy, just with their headquarters and kind of all the cool, very innovative. They're, I think they said the greenest building north of Grand Rapids. They've got geothermal, they've got solar panels, they've got goats helping with invasive species management. The 3-mile trail is going through their property, so. And then the last update I just wanted to mention, the Planning Commission just recently amended the bylaws just based on best practices. We worked with our attorney to just make some updates to the bylaws. They hadn't been reviewed in a long time. Similarly, the ZBA bylaws, we need to make some changes, and so we'll be coming back to you with some amended bylaws. And not huge changes, but just kind of referencing the correct state statutes, and want to make sure we're consistent with the zoning ordinance update. So I think that's it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. On to the item, actually 9, as the business for the zoning board. And agenda item number 1 is the election of officers. So nominations are open.
Other than chair, can you remind us who the vice chair and the secretary are currently? Do you know?
John, you is the vice chair, and Lindsay is the secretary.
Okay. So do we know if they will serve again?
I do not know. I was expecting that both of them would be here tonight,
Okay.
but I do not.
Question, what's the standard when it's the 2 regular officials are off the board? Or not present, what's like the protocol for that?
They can still be nominated.
Okay.
Okay, so would you serve again? Or do you want Rod to do it?
No.
I would make a motion that we would ask Paul to stay as chair and John Ewing to stay as vice and Lindsay Wolf to stay as secretary.
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You do a great job, so.
Okay, on to the second item, which is the variance request. This is the variance request of 523 of Margaret Lutz and Paul Singer, owners of a parcel of land commonly known as 1475 East River Road, Traverse City. The land number is 03340-02200, located in the Boardman River zoning district. The request requests a dimensional variance from section 505, table number 1, yard setbacks, specifically a 29-foot backyard variance resulting in a 71-foot setback from the Boardman River. The minimum setback for a structure on the Boardman River downstream from the Brown Bridge Dam, or location, is 100 feet. Okay, so, Bill?
Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. This variance is for a 29-foot from the 100-foot. And regarding the staff report, the applicant has satisfied all the conditions, the 7 conditions, and has satisfied at least one or more of the special conditions.
Okay.
A couple other things. We have in your packet, there was a letter from Brian Weir with Eagle, that he's not opposed to the addition of the porch. I also have that was not in your packet that I thought was a letter from Steve Largent, the Grand Traverse County Conservation District. He's not opposed to the addition. And we also have a letter, I have it here, from Patrick Urto of the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. He's not opposed if it's not an increase to the roof height.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to point out is it's a minimal request. The applicant was considered a building up, and they changed their variance request just to enclose the porch. When you look at a wetland map viewer, there's a significant portion of their property besides the 100-foot from the Boardman River that is in a wetland area. And as you saw tonight in the site visit, there's a high water table out on the property. So they're very limited as to what they can do on that parcel of land.
Okay.
That would be a physical characteristic of the property.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Gonzalez.
Okay, why don't we have the applicants come up, please? Please,
How do we start this? Distinguished fellow citizens.
no. Just state your name and where you are, where your
Paul
location
Singer.
is. Right.
Legal name Margaret Lutz.
And what else did you want us to state? I'm sorry. besides-
1475.
Yeah, 1475 East River Road, the variance request in question here. I mean, everybody visited the property tonight. Guess I just wanted to see if you had any additional questions or if there was anything additional we could add. I think Bill kind of covered most of the, I guess, everything. I don't know. I don't know if we were supposed to present more or what you'd like to hear from us additionally from what we discussed at the property earlier.
Well, it's just primarily, since this is being recorded and filmed out there, it gives the audience out there an opportunity to know what you're requesting, and the audience is also TV.
We did not know that.
Now we're really.
Oh, it's okay. No, you're fine.
You're fine.
We're very low-key. It's okay.
Okay, well, then I guess just to kind of state for everybody who's watching, I guess, on television, yes, we're looking at, we had, I appreciate you bringing that up, Bill, because originally we weren't quite sure what to ask for, but at the end, we realized that if we could just enclose that back deck, that would just basically be like a minimal ask to have minimal impact. Really just kind of asked for I guess, the smallest thing that we could. It's not visible from the river at all. It's not visible from either of the neighbor's house. One of them you can see possibly, in the wintertime when all the leaves are gone, but it's not an enclosure that anybody's going to see. I don't know if it helps to add this or not, but in addition to that, we're just looking at overall property improvements. I think we talked a little bit tonight about doing the native vegetation restoration. The engineering firm that came out and did the restoration plan for us was Stu from GEI, is that what? Which I don't know what that
GEI
stands for,
Consulting.
but basically they're the ones that kind of put together the whole restoration plan for what we'll ultimately do as far as adding more native vegetation. The only thing we hadn't considered that came up tonight was the possible removal of those 2 trees because they're so close to the house. But other than that, I think we've covered everything that's in the the variance request, and we just appreciate everybody coming out to take a look at it tonight to just get some eyeballs on what it is that we're looking to accomplish. Did you want to add any? Oh, and it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath right now. It's going to stay 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We're not going to add any more. We just need that little bit of extra square footage. Go ahead. I'm getting stepped on over here. Being told to shut up.
Just like at work.
Yeah.
Well, and then we recognize what you had said tonight about the runoff, and we totally understand. So that's why we're going to hire a landscape person, because we really don't know. We do realize we'll be using a lot of rock to kind of trap debris, right? And so kind of cleanse the water in case there is runoff. So, yes, that's, I mean, we're going to hire the professionals because, like I said, we do not know all the rules, but we've always tried to play by the rules, and so we'll make sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be.
Great. Thank you.
All right. So what happens next? Because this is our first.
We have a format that we have to go through, so, but you did great. Okay. We'll now open it up for any public hearing at 6:52 with regards to this matter. Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing at 6:52 and bring it back to the board. So, comments, questions?
Bill, as far as this enclosure, will soil and erosion have to get involved in this? Will they need a permit from soil and erosion?
They have soil erosion now, if Faith Souza is aware of that. If they,
That's right, I saw
yeah,
her
if they disturb more than a 10 by 10 area, I've been asked by Faith that we have either a soil erosion or an exemption, so
Yep.
that'll be in your packet.
Okay. Just because they'll help you too with that runoff stuff and things like that, so that's,
We had a soil erosion already
Yep.
for the septic, so she added whatever she needed to add it to our system.
yeah. But yeah, they'll help you figure that out too. Okay.
Questions? Rod?
I don't think so. I think I've heard, keeping the roof the same height and, getting soil and erosion and getting that in already set up so that it's there, seems to be very straightforward.
Yeah, I second that. It's pretty straightforward.
Great. What is your, and you have to come up to the podium, what is your time schedule on this?
We,
No, I'm in charge of the project, so he can make sure he gets to work. So we probably won't start till next fall, because we're waiting for our, that's when our builder can start, but once we get the approval from the board, then I'm meeting with, I forgot the gentleman's name, but I'm meeting with someone to draw up a plan. And then from drawing up the plan, I'll be meeting with a landscaper, just to make sure everyone is in place and I'm not waiting 6 months down the line. So I'm hoping that we have the renovation plan, the landscaping plan he'll start next fall, and then by the following summer, landscaping should probably start. So it's going to be a year away before we can even start.
Chairman Gonzalez,
First is a starting date.
Yes, sir.
do you mind if I,
Yes.
the variance lasts 1 year? Just want to make sure that you're aware of that. The variance is 1 year. If you don't have a building permit, you don't start the building, the variance is null and void.
So is it 1 year from when we're approved?
Yes.
Okay, so if we're approved in the month of November and we start in the fall, are you saying we have to have the project done by November?
Just started.
Started.
A building
Okay,
permit.
I think we'll be okay on that.
Just wanted to make you
Yeah,
aware.
thank
too,
you.
Good point.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Something happens, yeah, I
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Ready for a motion?
Okay, yeah, I hear a motion.
I would make a motion to approve Appeal 5-23 that meets the 7 basic and special conditions 2 and 3. I'm reading through this, sorry. So, to approve it. Sorry, I didn't read all of this. Do you need me to read all of it?
On the recommendations?
Yeah.
Please.
I recommend the approval of Appeal 5-23. The request meets 7 of the 7 basic conditions and 2 special conditions, conditions 2 and 3. Therefore, it is recommended to approve the variance as requested, as the request is reasonable and according to state and local officials does not significantly impact the Boardman River District.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will support that motion.
Okay. Moved by Tracy, supported by Rod, to recommend approval of Appeal 523. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're done. All righty.
Thank you.
Okay, that opens up the second public hearing. For anybody who has any comments, we'll open that at 6:57.
I'm spectating. I recently applied for a side yard appeal, and I believe we may be on the agenda for next month, so I just wanted to
Okay, thank you.
participate.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll close it at 6:58. Okay, our next meeting is on Tuesday, December 12th, and I hear that we have 2 items coming up at that meeting. So with that, we will adjourn the meeting at,
Chairman Gonzalez,
yes.
you requested that the meeting for site visits be a half an hour early, is that correct?
Yeah, because of the light situations, if we could move it up at least by a half hour, and maybe even considering as we go closer into the year, the January and the February, just try and keep us with reasonable light that we can actually see what's going on there, and at the same time, get back here at a reasonable hour. Rod?
I think the other thing is how far apart are they? Is one on one end of the township and one on the other? Then maybe we need more than just a half
Oh,
hour.
well, I was going to say the minimum would be like a half hour for light, but also as I said, if there's distance and things of that nature, keep shifting it, that gives us more time.
In the future, would it be appropriate to just call you, let you know of the upcoming meetings, where they're going to be for site visits, and have you determined if it's going to take a half an hour, 45 minutes, and include that in the agenda?
That's fine, and then as long as we get the word out to everybody else as to the time and the place and how we're going to be doing it, it'd be great. Good, thank you. Okay, with that, we are adjourned at 6:59.
Thank you.
A new record.